Kansas Republican Senator Jerry Moran joins me now. Senator, it's really a head scratcher, honestly. I mean, it really feels like it's for public consumption, PR event. We're going to release 50 million barrels out of the Strategic Reserve. It does nothing, absolutely nothing. We're the greatest oil producing nation in the world, and we could be even greater with the XL pipeline. Is there a chance, is there still a chance that if this administration changed their mind, we can put it through?
Well, I sure hope so. It's hard to believe that this administration would change course. Once again, they're trying to avoid doing the things that really need to be done, things that actually would make a difference by opening up the supply from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That's a Band-Aid, doesn't solve anything. It doesn't make us more independent. And as your previous interview indicated, that just sends a message to OPEC and others that they've got us over the barrels, no pun intended. Yeah. So this needs to be a policy that's about energy independence. And I can tell you that as I've traveled to Kansas the last couple of days, this is the topic of conversation: increasing costs, the supply chain problems, and making sure the people go back to work. So inflation is front and center with Kansans, and I think with Americans. Even my own life, I filled up my pickup truck this week, over $100 to fill up my truck. I've never had that. And we know that this inflation hurts the poorest among us more than others. Yeah. And so I hope this administration changes course. And I appreciate the senator from West Virginia taking a strong position in regard to energy independence. This is my view is that the president is using the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, that release, for just a political release valve, trying to make things look better. And that's what happens too often in Wichita, in Washington. What happens not in Wichita, but in Washington, we just do things that make us look like we're doing something that doesn't really solve a problem, and the president did that with the reserve. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting, his poll numbers began to fall after he tried to explain away Afghanistan, and that was something we saw. This is something we're feeling. And this disingenuous approach, I think long-term is going to hurt them badly. I think they're trying to time maybe a short blip, dip in prices. But to your point, it's the most insidious, most painful tax out there. It hurts everyone. This on top of the fact that inflation is already destroying paychecks. Even if you've got a raise this year, more than likely you have less purchasing power. You say you don't think that they'll have an epiphany on this. I agree with you. But how shocked are you that climate change and that green agenda supersedes the pain and suffering of the average American? I appreciate you asking that question that way, because one of the things I've discovered in my time in Washington, D.C. is those people who often profess to care about the poorest among us are the ones that promote policies that are the most damaging to the poorest among us. And again, I shake my head. There's lots of people who are hurting from this. No one's immune from it. But I would expect something different from this administration, except they have been on this issue of environmental change from the very beginning. And again, if other Democrats in the Senate would do what Joe Manchin has done, perhaps they would get the president's attention. But time and time again, I mean, I've been to the Senate floor in the last few weeks trying to convince the president on a number of things to do something that is like common sense and not harmful. And, it has fallen on deaf ears. But maybe he would listen to a Democrat senator, not a Republican senator. Yeah, well, that'd be a step in the right direction. Or maybe a midterm shellacking, although can you imagine how much pain we'll have to endure between now and then? Senator, have a great Thanksgiving, and we appreciate you being on the show. You know, we got a lot to complain about. We're blessed to live in this country, and we have the capabilities to solve this problem. We have the resources and the people. We can be thankful for that. We just need the leadership. Amen.